You are lying in total darkness. It's 40,000 BC. There is no roof you built, no door, no lock, because there is no door at all. And somewhere out past the last of the firelight, something with much better night vision than you is wide awake. In a few minutes, you are going to do the single most dangerous thing a human does all day. You are going to close your eyes. Sleep is surrender. For hours, you can't run, can't fight, can't even see it coming. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. How did anyone survive going to sleep? For 200,000 years, before beds, before walls, before a single lock existed. The easy answer is badly. You picture a freezing cave floor, a caveman curled up shivering, one eye open, barely sleeping at all. It's a great image. It's on the cover of 100 books. And the actual evidence buried in the dirt says it's almost completely wrong. Because your ancestors weren't just surviving the night. They had quietly engineered it. And we can prove it. Starting with a bed. So where did they even lie down, Dad? Deep in a South African cave, archaeologists found something that should not have survived. The remains of a bed, 200,000 years old. The oldest known bed on Earth. Not a random pile. Stacked sheaves of broadleaf grass, layered nearly a foot thick. One researcher said it would have been as comfortable as any modern camp bed. Soft, springy, warm. 200,000 years ago. But here's the clever part. Underneath the grass every time was a deliberate layer of ash. And that's where Nana comes in. The person who actually understood what the plants could do. Tucked into the grass were leaves of camphor bush, a plant still used in rural East Africa to drive off insects. We're describing what they used, not prescribing it. But think about what that means. Their bed had a built-in pest control layer. Now, Uncle Rocco had a fancier idea. He usually does. His raised platform of sticks and shells collapsed on the first night. The simple grass on ash mat won, because it actually worked. And when the mat got dirty or buggy, they burned it, then laid fresh grass right on the new ash. A self-cleaning, insect-proof bed. That's not a shivering brute on a cold floor. That's design. So they slept soft and they slept pest-free. But a soft bed doesn't stop a lion. But what about the lions? Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. The lions were the whole problem. And the answer was the one thing a predator won't walk into. Fire. Fire is the wall our ancestors could build anywhere. It gave heat, light, cooked food, and a ring of safety no animal wanted to cross. So they slept in a tight cluster, backs to the flames, faces out, warmth behind, watchfulness ahead. Now Gramps will tell you exactly how they stayed safe. Gramps has a story. In his version, one fearless hero stayed awake every single night forever, guarding the whole tribe alone. A noble watchman who never slept. It's a lovely story. It's also impossible. No human can skip sleep night after night and live. The real system was far smarter than one hero. And to see the smarter system, we don't need a time machine. We just need to watch people who still live much the way we all once did. In Tanzania, the Hadza hunt and gather on foot, sleeping out under the stars. Researchers strapped activity trackers to a whole camp of them. Over 20 nights, they found something astonishing. There were only about 18 total minutes when every single person was asleep at the same time. 18 minutes, out of 20 nights. Almost always, somebody in that camp was awake. And here's the beautiful part. Nobody planned it. There was no rota, no assigned guard. It happened all by itself. Because people naturally fall asleep and wake at different times. Teenagers are wired to stay up late. Older adults wake early and sleep light. Ivy, our resident night owl, would like a word. Staying up late isn't teenage laziness. In an ancient camp, the night owl is the late shift, awake and alert while everyone else drops off. And at the other end of the night, Nana and Gramps take over, light sleeping elders, up before dawn. Scientists gave it a name, the sentinel effect. A family guards itself around the clock without a single person meaning to. There may even be a deeper reason grandparents live so long past their working years. Someone has to be awake at 4 a.m. And that someone is Nana. So the group is covered all night warm and pest-free, which means you can finally truly sleep. But sleep how exactly? Did they sleep all night? Like me? You assume the answer is obvious. One long block, lights out, 8 hours straight. That assumption might be the most modern thing about you. Because when historians dug through old European diaries, court records, and medical books, one strange phrase kept surfacing. First sleep. And then, pages later, second sleep. 2 sleeps, as if a single night was normally split clean in half. People went to bed a couple of hours after dark, slept deeply, then woke around midnight. On purpose. Not from a nightmare. Just awake. And they'd stay awake in the dark for an hour or more, before sinking into a second sleep until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. It was just how nights worked. The historian tracing it found the pattern in writing as old as Homer. And that midnight hour wasn't wasted. People prayed, poked the fire, talked, visited a neighbor, thought about their dreams. It's a gorgeous idea. A hidden candlelit hour that modern life quietly deleted. So of course someone at the fire isn't buying it. Hold on. Is that actually true or is it just old books? That is exactly the right question. And answering it honestly is where this story gets complicated. Because those two sleep records come from historical Europe, people who could write only a few centuries back. That is not the Stone Age. So researchers went and tracked three groups still living close to the land today, in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia. And they found something different. Those groups did not reliably wake for a long stretch every midnight. They mostly slept in one main block. Even stranger, they didn't fall asleep when the sun went down. They dropped off hours later when the air turned cold. And they woke near the coldest point, just before dawn, a little under 7 hours later. Cold, not clocks, ran the night. So which is the natural human way to sleep? Two sleeps or one? Ivy, the honest answer is, we don't fully know. And here's the part every honest history has to admit. We may never know. You can strap a tracker on a living person. You cannot strap one on someone who died 50,000 years ago. Grass beds can fossilize, ash survives, but a single night's sleep leaves no fossil at all. So everything past the campfire is careful detective work. And good scholars genuinely disagree about the true shape of the ancient night. But strip the argument away. Look only at what we do know, and something quietly beautiful is left over. For almost all of human history, sleep was never a solo act behind a locked door. It was a fire, a pile of soft grass, your whole family close enough to touch, and always someone, a teenager, a grandmother, quietly awake. You didn't sleep safely because you were strong. You slept safely because you were together. Now come back to tonight. You'll lie down alone, in a sealed room, climate-controlled, every predator 200,000 years gone. You are safer right now than any human who has ever lived. And a surprising number of us will lie there, wide awake at 2 a.m., feeling like something is wrong. Maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe some very old part of you is simply waiting for the second sleep, or listening in the dark for the others who used to be there. We didn't survive the night by being fearless. We survived it by never being alone in the dark. They kept each other safe through the cold hours. But those hours were their own strange world. What were they actually doing out there before the fire? That story, how our ancestors fought the dark itself, is one tap away. I'm the Ancient Bro. Sleep well. Someone's keeping watch. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends.